Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you felt powerless, unable to influence the outcome of events unfolding around you? What if I told you there's a guidebook, a roadmap to power that has been passed down through the ages, revealing the hidden strategies of the most influential figures in history? Welcome to the captivating world of 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Imagine a world where every interaction, every decision, is a battleground for dominance and control. In this realm, power isn't just a commodity. It's the currency of survival. Whether you're navigating the cutthroat corridors of corporate politics or vying for supremacy in your personal life, Greene's laws offer a blueprint for mastering the game of power. Join me as we embark on an enthralling journey through the 48 laws that govern the dynamics of power, peppered with anecdotes from history's most cunning strategists and Machiavellian manipulators. Law 1. Never outshine the master. In the court of Louis XIV, Nicolas Fouquet learned the consequences of overshadowing one's superior. Despite his achievements as the superintendent of finance, Fouquet made the fatal mistake of hosting a grandiose party at his chateau, Vaux-le-Vicomte. This event, with its opulent displays of wealth and culture, caught the attention of the king, who felt threatened by Fouquet's growing influence and popularity. In a fit of jealousy and insecurity, Louis XIV swiftly had Fouquet arrested and imprisoned for life. This cautionary tale underscores the importance of making your superiors feel superior, avoiding excessive displays of prowess that may trigger their insecurities. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. In ancient Rome, the story of Julius Caesar and Marcus Brutus illustrates the dangers of misplaced trust. Despite Caesar's unwavering loyalty to Brutus, the latter ultimately betrayed him, joining a conspiracy to assassinate the dictator. Caesar's fatal mistake was placing too much trust in a friend without considering his own self-interest. Conversely, Caesar himself understood the value of using enemies to his advantage. By pardoning former adversaries and incorporating them into his inner circle, he neutralized potential threats and strengthened his position. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. During the reign of Cardinal Richelieu in France, subtlety and deception were paramount. Richelieu, the chief minister to King Louis XIII, wielded power behind the scenes by concealing his true intentions. His political maneuvers and alliances were shrouded in secrecy, allowing him to outmaneuver his rivals and maintain control over the French court. By mastering the art of deception, Richelieu secured his position as one of the most influential figures of his time, proving that sometimes the most powerful moves are the ones made in secret. Law 4. Always say less than necessary. In ancient China, the philosopher Confucius emphasized the power of restraint in communication. Confucius believed that by speaking less and listening more, one could avoid unnecessary conflicts and misunderstandings. This principle was exemplified in the story of Confucius's encounter with a boastful prince. When the prince boasted of his grand achievements, Confucius remained silent, refusing to engage in idle boasting. Instead, he allowed the prince's own words to reveal his arrogance and insecurity. This tale serves as a reminder that sometimes silence speaks louder than words. Law 5. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. In Renaissance Italy, the story of Cesare Borgia illustrates the importance of reputation in the pursuit of power. As the son of Pope Alexander VI, Cesare Borgia was ruthless in his quest for dominance. He understood that his reputation as a cunning and merciless leader was essential to maintaining control over his territories. To protect his reputation, Borgia employed tactics such as fear and intimidation, earning him a fearsome reputation that preceded him wherever he went. By guarding his reputation with his life, Borgia solidified his place in history as one of the most formidable figures of the Renaissance. Law 6. Court attention at all costs. In the court of Queen Elizabeth I, the playwright Christopher Marlowe demonstrated the power of capturing attention. Marlowe's bold and provocative plays, such as Dr. Faustus, captivated audiences and earned him the favor of the Queen. By courting attention with his theatrical productions, Marlowe solidified his reputation as a literary genius and earned the patronage of powerful figures. This law reminds us that in the pursuit of power, it's essential to seize the spotlight and make your presence known. Law 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. During the Italian Renaissance, the story of Leonardo da Vinci and his patron, Ludovico Sforza, exemplifies this law. Da Vinci, a masterful artist and inventor, was commissioned by Sforza to create a monumental bronze equestrian statue. However, due to the limitations of technology and resources, the project remained unfinished. Despite this setback, Da Vinci managed to turn the situation to his advantage by diverting Sforza's attention to other projects, such as military engineering and architectural designs. Meanwhile, Da Vinci continued to refine his artistic skills and pursue his own interests. When Sforza's reign came to an end, Da Vinci left Milan without completing the statue, but he ensured that his reputation as a visionary artist endured. This story highlights the importance of leveraging the efforts of others while ensuring that you receive the credit and recognition for their achievements. Law 8. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. In the court of Queen Elizabeth I, the poet Edmund Spenser employed this law to win favor and patronage. Spenser, eager to gain the Queen's attention, composed a series of poetic works praising her beauty and wisdom. These works served as bait to lure the Queen's favor, ultimately leading to Spenser's appointment as the royal secretary in Ireland. By making himself indispensable to the Queen, Spenser secured a position of power and influence in her court. This story demonstrates the effectiveness of using bait to attract influential individuals and advance one's own interests. Law 9. Win through your actions, never through argument. In ancient Greece, the philosopher Socrates embodied this principle in his teachings and debates. Socrates, known for his Socratic method of questioning, rarely engaged in direct arguments or debates. Instead, he relied on logical reasoning and ethical principles to guide his discussions. By demonstrating the validity of his arguments through his actions and behavior, Socrates earned the respect and admiration of his followers. This law reminds us that actions speak louder than words, and it's through our deeds that we ultimately win others over to our side. Law 10. Infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. During the French Revolution, Maximilien Robespierre understood the dangers of associating with negative influences. Robespierre, a key figure in the revolution, recognized that the unhappiness and discontent of others could spread like a contagion, undermining the stability of the revolution. To protect the revolutionary cause, Robespierre advocated for the removal of dissenters and counter-revolutionaries, believing that their negative attitudes posed a threat to the success of the revolution. This law serves as a reminder to surround ourselves with positive influences and avoid those who may drag us down with their negativity. Law 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. In Renaissance Italy, the story of Niccolò Machiavelli and his relationship with Cesare Borgia illustrates this law. Machiavelli, a diplomat and political strategist, sought to ingratiate himself with Borgia in order to advance his own career. Recognizing Borgia's ambition and thirst for power, Machiavelli positioned himself as a trusted advisor and confidant. By offering valuable counsel and support, Machiavelli ensured that Borgia remained dependent on him for guidance. This story demonstrates the importance of cultivating dependence in relationships to maintain control and influence over others. Law 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. During the Renaissance, the story of King Henry VIII of England and his minister, Cardinal Wolsey, illustrates this law. Wolsey, eager to curry favor with the king, employed a strategy of selective honesty and generosity to disarm his adversaries. By offering valuable advice and assistance to Henry, Wolsey earned his trust and loyalty. However, Wolsey's downfall came when his honesty and generosity were perceived as threats to the king's authority. This cautionary tale reminds us that while honesty and generosity can be powerful tools, they must be wielded carefully to avoid backfiring. Law 13. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. In ancient Rome, the story of Julius Caesar and his alliance with Pompey and Crassus illustrates this law. Caesar, seeking to consolidate his power and expand his influence, appealed to Pompey and Crassus's self-interest by offering them positions of authority and wealth. By framing his request for assistance in terms of their own self-interest, Caesar secured their support and loyalty. This story serves as a reminder that when seeking help from others, it's essential to appeal to their self-interest rather than relying on their mercy or gratitude. Law 14. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. During the Renaissance, the story of Sir Francis Walsingham, Queen Elizabeth I's spymaster, exemplifies this law. Walsingham, tasked with protecting the Queen and rooting out potential threats to her rule, employed a network of spies and informants to gather intelligence. By posing as a friend to his enemies and cultivating relationships with potential adversaries, Walsingham gained access to valuable information and foiled numerous plots against the Queen. This story illustrates the importance of deception and subterfuge in the pursuit of power. Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. In ancient Rome, the story of Scipio Africanus and his defeat of Carthage illustrates this law. Scipio, seeking to secure Rome's dominance in the Mediterranean, recognized the importance of decisively defeating his enemy. After defeating Carthage in the Battle of Zama, Scipio ensured that Carthage was completely destroyed, leaving no possibility for future resurgence. This story demonstrates the importance of eliminating threats completely rather than allowing them to linger and potentially regroup. Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. In feudal Japan, the story of the samurai illustrates this law. The samurai understood the power of absence, strategically withdrawing from the spotlight to increase their mystique and honor. By maintaining a sense of mystery and unpredictability, the samurai commanded respect and admiration from their peers and adversaries alike. This story reminds us that sometimes, stepping back and allowing others to yearn for our presence can enhance our reputation and influence. Law 17. Keep others in suspense. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. During the Cold War, the story of Joseph Stalin exemplifies this law. Stalin, known for his ruthless tactics and unpredictability, cultivated an air of uncertainty and fear among his allies and enemies alike. By keeping others in suspense about his intentions and actions, Stalin maintained control over his regime and ensured his survival in the volatile political landscape of the Soviet Union. This story serves as a cautionary reminder of the power of unpredictability in the pursuit of power. Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. In medieval Europe, the story of King Louis XVI of France illustrates this law. Louis, surrounded by advisors who insulated him from the realities of his kingdom, became isolated and out of touch with his subjects. This isolation ultimately led to his downfall during the French Revolution, as he was unable to respond effectively to the grievances of the people. This story serves as a warning against isolating oneself from reality and surrounding oneself with sycophants who shield one from criticism and dissent. Law 19. Know who you're dealing with, do not offend the wrong person. During the Italian Renaissance, the story of Niccolò Machiavelli and Cesare Borgia illustrates this law. Machiavelli, seeking to advance his career in the Florentine government, attempted to curry favor with Borgia, the powerful ruler of the Papal States. However, Machiavelli's efforts to win Borgia's favor ultimately backfired when he offended the wrong person within Borgia's inner circle. This story serves as a cautionary reminder of the importance of understanding the personalities and motivations of those with whom one interacts. Law 20. Do not commit to anyone. During the Renaissance, the story of Pope Alexander VI and his son, Cesare Borgia, illustrates this law. Pope Alexander, seeking to consolidate his power and expand his influence, formed alliances with various Italian city-states and foreign powers. However, his willingness to betray these allies when it suited his interests ultimately earned him a reputation for treachery and duplicity. This story serves as a reminder that in the pursuit of power, it's essential to remain flexible and avoid committing oneself to any single individual or faction. Law 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. In the world of espionage, the story of double agents during the Cold War exemplifies this law. Double agents, posing as loyal operatives of one side while secretly working for the other, often feigned incompetence or ignorance to deceive their handlers. By appearing less intelligent or capable than they truly were, these double agents were able to gain the trust of their adversaries and extract valuable intelligence without arousing suspicion. This story serves as a reminder that sometimes, appearing foolish can be a strategic advantage in the pursuit of power. Law 22. Use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. During World War II, the story of Winston Churchill and the British government illustrates this law. Faced with the overwhelming military might of Nazi Germany, Churchill and his government employed a surrender tactic to rally the British people and bolster their resolve. By acknowledging the gravity of the situation and embracing the role of underdog, Churchill transformed Britain's perceived weakness into a source of strength and resilience. This story serves as a reminder that sometimes embracing vulnerability can be a powerful strategy in the face of adversity. Law 23. Concentrate your forces. In ancient China, the story of Sun Tzu and the Battle of Red Cliffs illustrates this law. Sun Tzu, the legendary military strategist, advised his allies to concentrate their forces on a single point of attack to overwhelm their enemies. By focusing their strength and resources on a specific target, Sun Tzu's allies were able to achieve victory against a numerically superior opponent. This story serves as a reminder of the importance of strategic focus and unity of effort in the pursuit of power. Law 24. Play the perfect courtier. In Renaissance Europe, the story of Baldassare Castiglione illustrates this law. Castiglione, a diplomat and author, wrote The Book of the Courtier, a treatise on the ideal behavior of courtiers in the royal courts of Europe. By embodying the virtues of grace, charm, and wit, Castiglione's courtiers sought to win the favor of their monarchs and rise in status and influence. This story serves as a reminder of the importance of cultivating the right image and demeanor to navigate the complexities of courtly life. Law 25. Recreate yourself. During the Italian Renaissance, the story of Leonardo da Vinci exemplifies this law. Da Vinci, a polymath and visionary artist, constantly reinvented himself throughout his life, pursuing new interests and mastering new skills. By embracing change and innovation, Da Vinci remained relevant and influential in an ever-changing world. This story serves as a reminder that in the pursuit of power, adaptation and reinvention are key to staying ahead of the curve. Law 26. Keep your hands clean. In ancient Rome, the story of Marcus Brutus and Julius Caesar illustrates this law. Brutus, despite his involvement in the assassination of Caesar, sought to maintain a clean reputation by distancing himself from the deed. By delegating the act to others and avoiding direct involvement, Brutus attempted to preserve his honor and integrity in the eyes of the Roman people. However, his association with the conspiracy ultimately led to his downfall, as he was unable to escape the stain of treachery. This story serves as a cautionary reminder of the dangers of moral compromise in the pursuit of power. Law 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. During the American Civil Rights Movement, the story of Martin Luther King Jr. illustrates this law. King, a charismatic and inspirational leader, appealed to the deeply held beliefs and values of the American people to mobilize support for the civil rights cause. By invoking the language of justice, equality, and freedom, King created a powerful narrative that resonated with millions of Americans and inspired them to join the struggle for racial equality. This story serves as a reminder of the potent influence of belief and ideology in shaping public opinion and mobilizing collective action. Law 28. Enter action with boldness. In ancient Greece, the story of Alexander the Great illustrates this law. Alexander, a young and ambitious conqueror, embarked on a series of military campaigns that would ultimately establish one of the largest empires in history. By acting with boldness and audacity, Alexander achieved remarkable success on the battlefield and earned a reputation as one of history's greatest military leaders. This story serves as a reminder that in the pursuit of power, bold action and decisive leadership are often the keys to victory. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. During the American Revolutionary War, the story of George Washington illustrates this law. Washington, the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army, meticulously planned and executed a strategy that would ultimately lead to victory over the British Empire. By anticipating every possible contingency and preparing for the long-term struggle ahead, Washington ensured that the American cause would prevail against overwhelming odds. This story serves as a reminder of the importance of strategic foresight and planning in achieving ambitious goals. Law 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. In Renaissance Italy, the story of Michelangelo illustrates this law. Michelangelo, a master sculptor and painter, created works of breathtaking beauty and complexity that seemed to defy human capability. By downplaying the effort and skill required to produce his masterpieces, Michelangelo cultivated an aura of effortless genius that elevated his status to legendary proportions. This story serves as a reminder that in the pursuit of power, the appearance of effortlessness can be just as important as actual achievement. Law 31. Control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. During the Industrial Revolution, the story of John D. Rockefeller exemplifies this law. Rockefeller, the founder of Standard Oil Company, sought to control the oil industry by dominating every aspect of the supply chain. By controlling the production, transportation, and distribution of oil, Rockefeller effectively dictated the terms of the industry and forced competitors to play by his rules. This story serves as a reminder of the power of controlling the options available to others and shaping the competitive landscape to one's advantage. Law 32. Play to people's fantasies. In Hollywood, the story of Walt Disney illustrates this law. Disney, a visionary filmmaker and entrepreneur, capitalized on people's desires for escapism and fantasy by creating magical worlds and characters that captured the imagination of audiences worldwide. By tapping into people's deepest desires and dreams, Disney created a brand that remains synonymous with magic and wonder to this day. This story serves as a reminder of the power of storytelling and imagination in shaping popular culture and influencing public opinion. Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. During the Renaissance, the story of Cardinal Richelieu exemplifies this law. Richelieu, the chief minister to King Louis XIII of France, maintained control over his allies and enemies alike by exploiting their weaknesses and vulnerabilities. By understanding the motivations and desires of those around him, Richelieu was able to manipulate them to his advantage and maintain his grip on power. This story serves as a reminder of the importance of understanding human nature and using that knowledge to gain leverage over others. Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. In ancient Rome, the story of Julius Caesar illustrates this law. Caesar, despite being born into a relatively minor noble family, cultivated an air of royalty and majesty through his words and actions. By exuding confidence and authority, Caesar commanded respect and admiration from his followers and rivals alike, ultimately ascending to the highest office in the Roman Republic. This story serves as a reminder that in the pursuit of power, perception is often just as important as reality. Law 35. Master the art of timing. During World War II, the story of Allied forces exemplifies this law. The Allies, under the leadership of generals like Dwight D. Eisenhower, carefully orchestrated their military campaigns to take advantage of strategic opportunities and exploit enemy weaknesses. By striking at the right moment and capitalizing on shifting circumstances, the Allies were able to turn the tide of the war in their favor and achieve victory over the Axis powers. This story serves as a reminder of the importance of timing and strategic patience in the pursuit of power. Law 36. Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. During the Renaissance, the story of Queen Elizabeth I of England exemplifies this law. Elizabeth, facing pressure to marry and produce an heir, refused to be swayed by the expectations of others. Despite numerous suitors vying for her hand in marriage, Elizabeth remained steadfast in her decision to remain single and independent. By ignoring the demands and desires of others, Elizabeth asserted her autonomy and power, proving that sometimes the best revenge is indifference. Law 37. Create compelling spectacles. In ancient Rome, the story of Emperor Nero illustrates this law. Nero, known for his extravagant and theatrical displays, used spectacles to captivate the Roman populace and distract them from the political unrest and economic hardship of his reign. By staging elaborate events such as gladiatorial contests and chariot races, Nero maintained control over the masses and reinforced his authority as emperor. This story serves as a reminder of the power of spectacle in shaping public perception and maintaining political stability. Law 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. During the Renaissance, the story of Niccolò Machiavelli illustrates this law. Machiavelli, a political theorist and diplomat, understood the importance of conforming to social norms and expectations to avoid drawing attention to oneself. Despite his radical ideas and unorthodox beliefs, Machiavelli presented himself as a loyal servant of the Florentine Republic, adhering to conventional standards of behavior and decorum. This story serves as a reminder of the importance of adapting to one's surroundings and conforming to societal expectations to navigate complex social dynamics. Law 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. During the French Revolution, the story of Maximilien Robespierre illustrates this law. Robespierre, a key figure in the revolutionary government, advocated for radical measures to overthrow the monarchy and establish a republic based on principles of equality and justice. By inciting popular discontent and stirring up revolutionary fervor, Robespierre galvanized the masses and mobilized support for the revolutionary cause. This story serves as a reminder of the power of agitation and unrest in affecting political change and reshaping society. Law 40. Despise the free lunch. In modern finance, the story of Warren Buffett exemplifies this law. Buffett, one of the most successful investors of all time, built his wealth by adhering to a philosophy of self-reliance and frugality. Despite his immense wealth and success, Buffett remains famously thrifty, eschewing extravagance and avoiding handouts or favors from others. This story serves as a reminder of the importance of self-sufficiency and independence in achieving financial success and personal fulfillment. Law 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. During the Renaissance, the story of Francesco Sforza illustrates this law. Sforza, a condottiero who rose to power in Milan, understood the dangers of trying to emulate his predecessor, Filippo Maria Visconti. Instead of attempting to fill Visconti's shoes and replicate his style of governance, Sforza forged his own path, establishing himself as a capable leader and consolidating his own power base. This story serves as a reminder of the importance of carving out one's own identity and avoiding the pitfalls of comparison and imitation. Law 42. Strike the shepherd, and the sheep will scatter. In ancient Rome, the story of Julius Caesar's assassination illustrates this law. Caesar's enemies, recognizing his immense popularity and influence, conspired to assassinate him in order to destabilize his regime and weaken his supporters. By striking at the leader, Caesar's enemies hoped to sow chaos and confusion among his followers, ultimately leading to the collapse of his political movement. This story serves as a reminder of the vulnerability of hierarchical structures and the importance of targeting key individuals to undermine larger organizations. Law 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. During the American Civil Rights Movement, the story of Martin Luther King Jr. illustrates this law. King, a charismatic and inspirational leader, appealed to the moral conscience of the American people to mobilize support for the civil rights cause. Through his powerful rhetoric and unwavering commitment to nonviolent protest, King won the hearts and minds of millions of Americans, inspiring them to join the struggle for racial equality. This story serves as a reminder of the power of empathy and persuasion in effecting social change and transforming public opinion. Law 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. In modern politics, the story of Vladimir Putin illustrates this law. Putin, the president of Russia, often employs a tactic known as the mirror effect to undermine his opponents and discredit their criticisms. By reflecting their own tactics and behaviors back at them, Putin disarms his adversaries and infuriates them by exposing their hypocrisy and double standards. This story serves as a reminder of the power of psychological warfare and manipulation in the pursuit of political dominance. Law 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. During the French Revolution, the story of Maximilien Robespierre illustrates this law. Robespierre, a leader of the radical Jacobin faction, advocated for sweeping reforms to overthrow the monarchy and establish a republic based on principles of equality and justice. However, Robespierre's zeal for change ultimately led to the Reign of Terror, a period of mass executions and political purges that alienated many of his supporters and triggered a backlash against the revolutionary government. This story serves as a cautionary reminder of the dangers of pushing for change too quickly and destabilizing society in the process. Law 46. Never appear too perfect. In modern celebrity culture, the story of Michael Jackson illustrates this law. Jackson, a legendary pop icon, was adored by millions for his musical talent and charismatic performances. However, His carefully cultivated image of perfection and innocence eventually became a source of scrutiny and suspicion. Allegations of child molestation tarnished Jackson's reputation and cast a shadow over his legacy, highlighting the dangers of projecting an image of flawless perfection. This story serves as a reminder that authenticity and vulnerability can be more endearing than an image of unattainable perfection. Law 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for. During the Cuban Missile Crisis, the story of President John F. Kennedy illustrates this law. Faced with the threat of nuclear war with the Soviet Union, Kennedy carefully calibrated his response to the crisis, avoiding actions that could escalate the situation beyond control. By setting clear objectives and limits to his actions, Kennedy prevented the crisis from spiraling out of control and ultimately negotiated a peaceful resolution with the Soviet Union. This story serves as a reminder of the importance of restraint and strategic calculation in times of crisis. Law 48. Assume formlessness. In ancient China, the story of Sun Tzu illustrates this law. Sun Tzu, the legendary military strategist, emphasized the importance of adaptability and flexibility in warfare. By assuming a formless and fluid approach to combat, Sun Tzu's armies were able to respond to changing circumstances and exploit their enemies' weaknesses. This story serves as a reminder that rigidity and inflexibility can be liabilities in the pursuit of power, while adaptability and formlessness can be sources of strength. So, as you navigate the complex landscape of power dynamics in your own life, remember the timeless wisdom of these 48 laws. Each one offers valuable insights into the nature of power and how to wield it effectively. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.